There are countless ways of making dal. You can make dal in the simplest way possible, or you can add several ingredients to make it in a special way. Today I will show you how delicious a dal can taste even when you make it in a simple way. When I went to India, one of our relatives cooked this for us, and I absolutely fell in love with this recipe. So I felt I should share it with you, all because it is too delicious. Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Bumbi. Okay, so I took half a cup of red lentils, that is Masoor Dal. The first thing you need to do before cooking any dal is to rinse the lentils very well. Please do not just start cooking without rinsing, because you can see how cloudy that water is becoming. That is all dust and impurities which you do not want to eat. So rinse the lentils a few times. Now I always use a pressure cooker whenever it comes to cooking dal, but today I chose not to use a pressure cooker because some of you want to see how to cook lentils in a pot. So after transferring the lentils in the pot, I added some chopped onions and sliced garlic along with 2 green chillies which I left them whole. If you are a brave heart who can handle the heat, you can slit the chillies or add them chopped. Next, just half a teaspoon of turmeric powder goes in along with a teaspoon of oil. If you are using a pressure cooker, you can add a teaspoon of salt to this. Next, I added 3 cups of hot water. Again, if you are using a pressure cooker, just add 1.5 cups of water. Keep some hot water handy as you will need to add if the water dries up before the lentils get cooked. Next, cover the pot partially on high heat. You do not want to cover it fully as the lentils may foam up and you do not want to deal with all that spillover. Lower the heat once it starts boiling and you can remove the foam that comes up initially. But see to it that you are not removing any bits and pieces of onions or garlic along with the foam. Soon you will see the lentils starting to break up like this, but we are not done yet. Add some more hot water if you see the water is drying up. For making an Indian style Masoor Dal, you need the lentils to turn mushy and not staring at you. It should be one smooth and silky broth. See, this is what I am talking about. It took me about 28 minutes to come to this point. If using an instant pot, pressure cook it for 12 minutes or 10 minutes if using a regular stovetop pressure cooker. I took out the green chilies and then mashed the dal either with the back of a ladle or using a wire whisk. I used this dal ghutuni that my mom gave me. Now if you want a thick dal, increase the heat of your stove and let the dal boil away till you get a thicker consistency. If you want a thinner consistency, add more hot water to this. This is how you can adjust the consistency the way you like. I like having this with rice, so I like it to be thin. But if you want to have it with roti, make it thicker. My dal is now cooked, so let's move on to the next step. In another pot, heat 2 tablespoons of oil. Once the oil turns hot, lower the heat to low. Now comes the magic ingredient, and this is where the East Indian touch comes in. This is Bengali 5 spices known as Panch Phoron. It is a combination of 5 different types of spices and I have a video on it on my channel, so please check that out. I added half a teaspoon of Panch Phoron. Always remember to lower the heat of your stove when adding any whole spices or else they will burn and become bitter. But the oil should be hot enough for the seeds to splutter and only then their flavor will be released in the oil, making the oil absolutely aromatic. I added 4 whole dry red chillies. There is something very magical when you fry whole chillies in hot oil. It brings in such a beautiful and smoky flavor. Then a good amount of onions go in along with a pinch of salt to soften the onions faster. Fry the onions on medium-low heat till it turns brown. It's this combination of Panch Phoron, dry red chillies and onions that brings in a unique flavor to this dal that you will not get in any other recipe. And chop the onions into thin slices. Okay, once the onions turn brown, I took out some as I will be using it as a garnish at the end. Next the dal goes in and that's when all that sizzling happens, letting you know that a delicious thing is in the making. I added 2 teaspoons of salt. This is how we make dal in East India. We do not add the tadka to the dal, but we pour the dal into the tadka. I went to India this Christmas and one of my husband's cousin brother's wife made this and I just absolutely fell in love with her recipe. She did not add coriander leaves though, but you know me how I add coriander leaves into literally everything. Allow the dal to come up to a rolling boil. If you feel it needs to be thicker, Keep boiling until it thickens down. Or you can add more hot water if you want it to be more of a soupy consistency. Remember one thing, lentils thicken up considerably once they cool down. Always do a taste test and adjust the seasonings. I added some of those brown onions on top before serving. So you saw how easy and simple it is to make this, but it is truly very, very delicious. I'm requesting you to please try this recipe and send me your feedback. Please give me a thumbs up and do consider subscribing. Bye bye.